Daughter of the Sea. Poems by Mehrdad Khameneh. Recitation of the poems by Lucija Pezo. To Ludwig Wittgenstein. Home is not where you were born. Home is where all your attempts to escape cease. Najib Mahfouz. Chapter 1. Daughter of the Sea. Home. Home is not where you opened your eyes, but where you closed them to the urge to flee. It is a place whose walls are neither prison nor shelter, but only a shadow cast upon the restless beating of your heart. Home is a name without a map, a place where the word return loses meaning, because you have gone, and in going, arrived at yourself. Sale, Croatia, 11th July 2025. The limit of my language. To Ludwig Wittgenstein. The limit of my language is a slender thread between what I know and what I do not, a faint line around the light, around the sky, around the sail that moves in the winds of my imagination. Where words come to an end, thought falls silent, and the borders sink into the mist. I speak of trees, so I see only trees. But the mountains, oh, the mountains! They whisper a secret my language cannot grasp. The sorrow of the sea, the silence of a trembling flame, remain unnamed and unformed. A single word can open the gate to a world. But what of all that remains nameless? That half-alive sensation behind the eyelids, that lost hue between sea and sky, they linger behind the veil of language. I build my world with phrases I can hold in my palm, yet I leave untouched the sacred, the brave, the forsaken. O language, O transparent cage, O compass without direction, you draw me near and yet never bring me there, and still every new word is a light, a star rising from the heart of darkness. So I will stretch my language line by line in hopes of building a world worthy of the name human. Zadar, Croatia, July 12, 2025. Mirror. A mirror is not just glass. It is a fragment of the world's mind, holding within itself what is and what is not. Who is looking? I at you, you at me, or the mirror at both of us, timeless, without judgment? You are not an image in a frame to me, but a question. With you, to be is to think, to define, to become. The world may lie, people may, time may, even memory itself, but the mirror only keeps silent. And in that silence there is truth. What passes out there is only shadow, and I, in this mirror, saw you, not your face, but your truth. Sale, Croatia, July 13th, 2025. Pierrot, the Beautiful Madman. For Jean-Luc Godard and Karina. A cobalt dusk in the frame. The ocean whispers its secrets in French. She turns, cigarette between her fingers, a gaze, half an answer to an unfinished question. He is color itself, the red of desire, the blue of escape, the yellow of a hidden wound behind a smiling mask. Why do you always speak in riddles? Because I was born in a book and raised in a reel of film. Karina, mischievous sorrow, and Godard's camera, wrapping its gaze around her, like a strip of love-struck celluloid. Each blink a cut, each tear a take. She sings, he explodes, and the sky watches on, indifferent. But for a moment, only a moment, they are free. Two rebels dancing on the edge of narrative, fading into red, into blue, into you. Sale, Croatia, July 14th, 2025. In the sea, for Shirin. Where time stood still, she parted the waves with gentle hands. The sea received her like a flame, unbound, borderless, nameless, and free. Salt kissed her skin, the sky grew wide, she danced where dreams and tides collide. No voice could cage the sea's own song. The sea was hers, where she belonged. The sun grew humble, lighting her path. No past, no walls, no aftermath. With every breath the world grew small, only her and freedom and sea and all. Sale, Croatia, July 16th, 2025. Touch, for wine, for memory. When a gaze finds another gaze, and silence hums a tender tune, life forgets history, work, plans, the play of fate, but it remembers the trace of a quiet smile, a glance that lingered a little longer. The taste of grape guards the soul, so fill the glass, embrace the night, and let the moment take flight. For life does not recall the noise, but holds what has touched the heart. Sale, Croatia, July 18th, 2025. The frame of silence. She says nothing, yet her gaze is full of sound, sounds that lose themselves between the waves and the sunset. She breathes between two moments, the one that has passed and the one not yet arrived, within the frame of silence. And in this moment, in this silence overflowing, there is a peace the world has long forgotten. Sale, Croatia, July 21st, 2025. The Partisan and the Woman. For memory and the moment. Beneath the bronze arm raised in defiance, where stone remembers the name of freedom, she stands, unarmed yet unbowed, bearing a truth that cannot be spoken, but must be lived. Her Iranian heart beats on Dalmatian soil, from the Alborz mountains to the Adriatic shore, a single breath flowing in the winds of history, in words that remain unspoken, yet cry out through her stance. Woman, life, freedom. From mountain to sea, from dusk till dawn, in every woman who stands her ground, in every man who never returned, in every generation still asking, where is the truth? Here, beside this statue, history carries on, and we are alive, and we fight. Sale, Croatia, July 24, 2025. At the house of Molière, Comédie Française. And the city, like a lover who knows but does not ask, opens the way for you without ever questioning where you have been. The house of Molière, where the sound of footsteps dances with the shadows of ancient walls, and words like birds trapped in the cage of the stage are set free to tell forgotten stories of humanity, love, and liberation. The city is a silent companion, softly smiling, allowing you each time you return to rediscover home anew without any questions asked. Paris, France, August 10th, 2025. The wall of the Communards. Here the stone still smells of gunpowder, and the cry of "Long live the Commune" rises through the gaps left by bullets. We stood with our backs to death, facing the sun, which in the final moment shone upon our faces. Neither bullets nor walls could bury our dream in the soil. The trees still raise the green flag of spring, and the wind carries our message from these stones to every street in the world. Freedom cannot be defeated. Paris, Père Lachaise, August 11, 2025. Adriatic. The Adriatic whispers through limestone cliffs, through olive groves, through hands weaving nets at dusk. A seagull soars, its cry a silver blade that cleaves the silence between island and horizon. And when night descends, the sea becomes a dark book, written in ebb and flow, and readable only by those who listen. Sale, Croatia, August 18th, 2025. The Meeting of Two Worlds, for Alfred Hitchcock. One filled with suspense and shadow, the other with sunlight and release. And perhaps this is life, walking among the great faces of history, listening to the silent voices of their frames, and still remaining in the brightness of the now. Zadar, Croatia, September 1st, 2025. Daughter of the sea. She bore the patience of corals, the fury of storms clenched in her fists. Yet in her open palms, shells gathered softly, singing lullabies to the restless moon. She was never of the land. She rose from the deep, from secrets that tremble unseen, from the everlasting embrace of blue. And if ever you should see her, walking barefoot through your dream, the salt will cling forever to your tongue, and the sea will call your name. Kornate, Croatia, September 17th, 2025. Chapter 2. Woman, Life, Freedom. Iran, 2019 till 2025. Woman, Life, Freedom. Your name becomes a code. But the code is not a metaphor. Here lies the truth to awaken your sleeping voice. The code is not a sign. Graves have spat out corpses, one by one, so that you may remember that here is no metaphor. The code is not irony. Here runs a bright line that separates us from them, and you know where to stand, so that irony loses its meaning. No, humanity is not irony. The code is not a secret. Decades whisper in echoes to become a hymn on the heel of freedom with the key of love. The code is a symbol, a vivid symbol, a clear message. Woman, life, freedom. Tehran, Iran, September 19th, 2022.
شالون شال سرخ تو موج موج موی تو نه ترین حادثه چه زیباست داره روی تو آفرین به آخرین شاهکار روی تو توی اوج سادگی چه زیباست اندوه تو وای که این واژه ها لالن در پیش تو آه چه بد زخمیه که فردا کیست هماغوش تو آه که این لعنتی این قرص های افسردگی رنگ به رنگ دوز به دوز به باد داد آرام زندگی
We are there. Tear through the skin of night. Do not say, I am alone. We are there, right where you know, where we promised to meet again. Not here, in darkness, there, in the light, where we can see each other's faces, hold each other's hands, touch each other's shoulders, side by side. Cry out, break the walls of silence. Do not say, no one is here. We are there, voices joined as one. Not here, in silence, there. Arm yourself with love, with knowledge, with hope. Do not say, my hands are empty. We are there, waiting for your arrival, for victory, for tomorrow. Excavating a dream. A safe mine, fresh air, a child's laughter, a wife at ease, a warm meal on the table. A fair wage, a quiet life, insurance, retirement, 8-hour shifts, a union, a contract that endures. A trip up north, the sea, the sea, the sea. Salt on the breeze, waves at his feet, a holiday without worry. The first of autumn, a school bag, a classroom, a future bright with promise. And then, in an instant, all of it passed before his eyes. The miner's dream, a single heartbeat before the blast. Footnote: the Tabas coal mine explosion was the deadliest mining accident in Iran, occurring on September 21, 2024. The incident, caused by a methane gas leak, led to an explosion in Block C of the mine. At the time of the explosion, more than 17 workers were present at the site. The accident took place around 9 p.m. Seashell. When you step into the streets today, let your pockets overflow with seashells. Wherever they seize you, scatter them on the ground, a quiet trace of the sea. For every comrade struck by bullets, press a seashell to the wound. For every fallen friend, place a shell within their hand. And when you raise your voice as one, hurl seashells into the sky. Seashells, bearing the salt of the sea. Seashells, opening the horizon of tomorrow. Seashells, marking the graves that have no names. Footnote: Havaran is a burial ground on the outskirts of Tehran where the bodies of political prisoners executed by the state were secretly laid to rest. It is the most painfully remembered for the 1988 mass executions when thousands of dissidents were killed after summary trials and buried in unmarked graves. For decades, families, human rights defenders, and exiled voices have returned to Havaran to mourn. The authorities have sought to erase these traces, leveling the ground, forbidding gatherings, silencing grief. Yet the memory endures. The mothers of Havaran, with flowers, with stones, with seashells, keep alive the names that power sought to bury. In Havaran, sometimes at the place where a comrade is believed to rest, seashells are found, perhaps left by a mother's trembling hand or by those who once loved them, as quiet markers of remembrance. December poem. The poem must be written on a December evening, when the temperature is below zero, but the snow does not fall. There is no electricity, no gas. Your lungs wheeze from breathing in the filth. Everything is shut down. People are fed up, cursing in every corner. And in the last moments of your phone's battery, you listen to Vocalize as if everything depends on these final minutes. What a magnificent moment it is to be in the depths of filth and to find solace in Rachmaninoff. Poets explore filth, and always in its depths they find a gem to remind us that life is not just one thing. Filth is not everything. There is poetry, there is music, there is love. There is always a flicker of light, a candle that is passed from hand to hand across the city, so that in darkness and cold something remains, so that people do not grow numb, so that a note is played, so that people do not grow silent, so they can whisper to one another, "Did you see? Did you hear?" Such courage. Poetry exists to capture these moments, for if tomorrow brings light, how terrifying it would be if only the corpses bear witness to what went on. Verdict. The verdicts have been read. Prison 20 years. Prison 10 years. Prison 5 years. Years no longer matter. Here everyone is sentenced. You too are imprisoned. Perhaps the fortunate ones were those who died for freedom, with bullets lodged in their eyes, with clubs striking their skulls under the slow fire of torture, or with a pill swallowed in sorrow. They have written my verdict too. Execution. Don't tell Mom. Footnote. Mohammad Mehdi Karami, 1st November 2001, 7th of January 2023. A 20-year-old Iranian karate champion executed for his involvement in the Masa Amini protests. In his final call, tells to his father, "Don't tell Mom I'm being executed." Head trauma. A violent blow to my head. I am in the hospital, cold water in both ears. My eyes do not move. A thin tube down my throat. I do not cough. A pinch on my nose. A strike to my forehead. A beam of light into my eyes. Nothing. They disconnected me from the ventilator. I do not breathe. Brain death. A violent blow to my head. Where? In the subway. Who are you? A student. Why? For the law of their faith. They tell my mother, stay silent. They tell my father, stay silent. I tell you, if silence leads to an explosion, then be silent. Footnote. Armita Geravand, April 6, 2006 till October 28, 2023, was an Iranian schoolgirl who lost consciousness on October 1, 2023 after suffering a head injury in the Tehran metro inflicted by morality police because of her outfit. She was hospitalized due to a brain hemorrhage and skull bleeding, fell into a coma and passed away after 28 days. She was an 11th grade art school student in Tehran.
Take me to church, I'd worship like a dog at a shrine of your light. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me to death instead of good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I'd worship like a dog at a shrine of your light. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me to death instead of good God, let me give you my life. If I'm a pagan after good times,
Numbing the pain. We numb the pain, one in the workshop, one in the school, one in the street, one in the metro, one in the prison, after days, weeks, months, years, sleepless nights, fever, shivers, sweat, for having nothing, no freedom, no comfort, no justice, with wire, with salt, with masks, with rage, with blood. We numb the pain, and we know a rotten tooth, sooner or later, must be pulled. Footnote: Tumaj Salehi, the imprisoned rap singer from Evin prison in Tehran. After 6 months of reporting tooth pain, after weeks of sleepless nights, fever, chills, and sweating from the pain, with no tools available, I performed a root canal on myself using a mask wire and salt, enduring unbearable pain. October 4th, 2023.
ژورنالیست بازاری، مخبر دوزاری، هنرمند درباری، سوراخ موش بخر، مأمور معذور، از بالا دستور، جلاد مجبور، سوراخ موش بخر، سوپ پاپ اطمینان، منصوب بی اختیار، اصلاح طلب حزب با سوراخ موش بخر، صادراتی نایی یا کی زیرو رو کشار جایی بده هرچی دلار داری، سوراخ موش بخر. چه هنرمندی که خبر از نونبری نداری، شاشیدم به اسکار تگ مردمی نباشی، پاره میکنم کلافتو که دیگه چرن نبافی، چه شهاب دولتی باشی چه اسقر فرهادی، چه بازیکن حکومتی و چفی الیسی، چه بازیگر صادراتی و اله هیکسی، شما خود فروش پولی نرزه مقام فیکسین، حیف زالو جیر خورا شما از خلایق نیستین، لاشی کارون باب مدنی که پر نمیشه، خوزستان ژتون نمیخواد صاحب کل میزه، آزادی گرونه باشه آزاده کشته میده، یادتون باشه خون فقط با خون شسته میشه. تیر بزن از پشت سر بکش تشنه ها رو، به قتل حق خواه نامسلح افتخار کن، بیرون مرز به جنایت بزن رنگ و لعاب رو، بگیر از من مژده فردا و تقاص رو. ژورنالیست بازاری، مخبر دوزاری، هنرمند درباری، سوراخ موش بخر، مأمور معذور، از بالا دستور، جلاد مجبور، سوراخ موش بخر، سوپ پاپ اطمینان، منصوب بی اختیار، اصلاح طلب حزب با سوراخ موش بخر، صادراتی نایی یا کی زیرو رو کشار جایی بده هرچی دلار داری، سوراخ موش بخر. منتظر ناجی نباش خبری تو راه نیست، نجات دهنده خودتی، خودت قهرمانی، من و تو اگه ما بشیم بیکرانیم، ما منجی زمانیم، امام زمانیم.
Freedom. 14 years. No, 18. I think of you in narrow hallways, beneath silent lightless walls. 18 years. No, 20. I wait for you, as the sun at rest leans against my face, while I mock my own pain. 20 years. No, 30. I stare at you through the tiniest crack in the wall, the one that promises collapse. 30 years, no, 50, with your scent in every spring. I am young again. 50 years, no, 100, you remain unchanged. Time will never touch you. Freedom. No. A woman shouted no. A man shouted back, whore. Women shouted no, and men shouted back, whores. Women, cloaked in the garb of whoredom, sang the anthem of no louder than the wind. The men of the tribe of violation, seeds of ignorance, chieftains of dark history, banned no in their laws, Yet in every spring the flower of no bloomed everywhere. Lovers gifted each other the branch of no. No became the first word on the tongues of newborns. No became the last message of the lips of the condemned. No became the steadfast poem of the free. No became the heroic stand of the oppressed. No was the sacred name of woman. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, I am writing, for the death of a colleague's teenage son, for the neighbor's wife, for family, for a friend, for the worker who took his own life, for the artist who was murdered, for those who resisted in the streets and were condemned to death. And I drink coffee, and I distract myself with unrelated thoughts, and I try not to argue for no reason, and I try to resolve old resentments, and I try to be kind, and I try to be sincere. I hold the scream in my chest, to use it again, at the right place, at the right time, when our sorrows unite. I try to extend my hand of friendship to those who are not enemies, because I do not know who will remain tomorrow when I wake, or whose memory I should honor. Is it possible to sail alone on the sea? Is it possible to stay alone with hope? Can freedom be celebrated alone? Falafel Sandwich. I am hungry. I have been hungry for 2 days. I sell myself. I am on sale to 3 men. I sell myself for a falafel sandwich. I sell cheaply. I am hungry. I have been hungry for 2 days. I have no place. In an empty grave. I sell myself. The grave of your honor, the grave of your justice, the grave of your conscience, the grave of your society. I sell you cheaply. I am on sale for a falafel sandwich. To Vladimir Mayakovsky. In this life, it's not difficult to die. To make life is more difficult by far, you said. But what can one say when the very essence of death is a song of life here? When the echo of the call to join the river is the end of the terror of the executioner with the last breaths of existence and the first brick of life's construction? When death is the only right of your own choice, when death is the last arrow of justice on the triggers of tomorrow roaring. Vladimir, your death is an end, but there, death is the beginning and the continuation of life until the final battle. Revenge. I don't want water. I don't want a home. I will never be sick. I am not hungry. I will not fall in love. I do not love my child. I have given you everything: water, health, bread, love, child. But I have kept one thing for myself: anger, for the day of revenge. execution. They execute us every day. Every day we are thrown into mass graves. Every day our mothers pull fragments of our clothes from unmarked graves. We are hungry every day. Every day we search for bread, like an army sifting through garbage. We are beaten every day. When they force hijabs upon our heads and we refuse to comply, we are collectively arrested. They line us up every day. We are raped in safe houses, in dark corridors, in classrooms, in broad daylight, every day. We repeat history every day. Murder, poverty, oppression, assault. We repeat our condemnation every day because we do not know. We are executed together every day. The End. Daughter of the Sea. Poems by Mehrdad Khameneh. Recitation of the poems by Lucija Pezo. Exit Theatre publication, October 2025.